Recording in progress.
Welcome everybody to the Buddha's Birthday Ceremony 2025. Our opening speech will be given by Wonil Sunim.
Welcome everyone. It's great to see such a full house today. Buddhism it's kind of a mystery. Like the early years, it's a 2,568-year-old tradition. The early years, there wasn't really a written language at that time. It's an oral tradition. But according to that, the Buddha sprang from his mother's side, took 7 steps, pointed to the sky, like this. It's depicted here. One arm down and said, oh, in the heavens above and the earth below, only I am holy. But probably, I think, and the remarkable thing about Buddhism, he was just a normal baby. He grew up normal childhood, and somehow, through his own effort, he attained enlightenment. And that's really the magic of Buddhism. At some point, also this is, from the oral tradition, he encountered old age, sickness, and death. And struck his mind, that question. But we don't know exactly what happened. Maybe there was some other calamity that drove him from the palace. But he left, and he, great effort. Many, many years of work. He got enlightenment. He did it. And that's the important thing. That's the point of origin of us. All of these lineages, all this beautiful dharma came from that effort. And that's really what we're celebrating today, whether or not this is a legend or if it's true. But there's something in here. I wanted to read this. This is from the morning bell chant. According to this, the Buddha is like the Ganges, innumerable grains of sand, or the infinite moments in all time, or innumerable dust particles, or countless blades of grass, numberless number. So what does that mean? I remember a long time ago, one of the teachers here told me a story about this thief who was trying to escape. And he was very fast. He was ahead of his captors, running, and he came across a fire pit. And he stopped, he took the ashes and spread all over his body, sat down by the road like a holy man. And the police ran right past. Didn't even notice. But he was afraid to move because they were sweeping the area. So he stayed there. Eventually, the villagers found him and started bringing him food because they thought he was a holy man. But the story is, eventually he became a holy man. So what does that mean? I mean, are those two different? What is that path? This is from the Temple Rules. You must first make a firm decision to attain enlightenment and help others. That kind of encapsulates all that we do. And I love that there's two parts. Attain enlightenment, help others. That's important. Those two things, it's like a symbiotic relationship, right? But this last sentence is what grabs me. Let go of your small self and become your true self. That's the invisible path. That's the hard part. Let go of the small self. That's what both of these great men did. I had the great fortune in my life to meet living Buddhists like our wonderful Zen Master Sung San. He would come here. I moved here in 1990 when Descartes Singh was the abbot at that time. And he would come maybe once a year and he would just be surrounded by people. You could hardly get a word with him. But it was magical to see him just talking, just go out to dinner with him, just to see what an enlightened person looks like, how he just reacts to things. It was a wonderful teaching to encounter an enlightened being like that. I had a lot of time with him in LA, though, later. And I found that he's not a person you could really ask questions to. I mean, you can ask him, but he'll ask you a question, right? He puts it back on you, or he'll give you extra practice. But there was another one. There was another wonderful Buddha that would come here back then, Mahagosananda. And he was just shining. It was just amazing to witness. And he would just hang out with he would hang out with me. We would just talk and spend hours with us. Such a gift. I'm sure everyone that met him just adored him. So I asked him one time, how did you get like that? I'm sure, like the Buddha, he was an ordinary baby at one time. Like, how did you make that change? I'm sure Sung San Sunim too. Like, all of us start from a normal human status, And this was the only time I ever saw his eyes get serious. He looked at me like I could tell he was feeling something really important, And he said, all of my family was murdered by the Khmer Rouge. I could not stop crying. All I could do was go into my practice. That's all I could do. Or I would just cry. And then he said, a quote from our wonderful morning bell chant, which we read every time Zen Master Sung Yan leads a retreat. So I know these words, right? Deja Debi. Great, he translates that as great sadness is great compassion. Again, these two elements, sadness and compassion. But we translate it here as great love, great compassion. So I asked, we have a scholar here from Hong Kong, Sharon Chia. I asked her about it. Just a few days ago, she was at Kyolche with us, and she said, well, the first character, Ja, means kindness, or all the great qualities of a bodhisattva. B is sadness. But in this case, it means the suffering of the world. So again, these two elements, we have this kindness and compassion and the suffering of the world together, right? And this is what I love about what it says here. We should change this translation because we missed the teaching, yeah. So what it says, the next three words are beautiful. It says, our original teacher. Great kindness, great compassion, the suffering of the world is our original teacher. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, so that's all for me today. I hope all of you, when you encounter adversity in your life, right? When there's some calamity, you go into practice. Try that. Do some extra practice. There's people here doing 3,000 Kwanse Bosas. Just try that. Do 108 bows a day. And, eventually let go of that small self. Or like Tawi said, give your consent to abandon that self. Become your true self and help this world. Thank you.
Please stand for the threefold refuge. I'm supposed to read this to you. The threefold refuge in Korean and Sakyamuni chanting. During this time, children can come to the front for bathing the baby Buddha. Each child can dip the ladle into the water and pour it over the baby Buddha's head 3 times. Got that? 3. We will now have 3 minutes of silent meditation, so take your seats. Next, we're going to hear Zen Center updates from representatives of a few sanghas. The first will be Manu to update us on the Chogye International Zen Center of New York.
Good morning, everybody. So the big news for Chogye International Zen Center of New York is that this year we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of our temple. Actually, it was on March 25th, but we will have a celebration probably in May, so you will hear more about it. And so what is funny is that in our Sangha, among our regular members, about half of them are younger than 50, and half of them are older than 50. So, quick, let's do a game. It's called Younger or Older than New York Zen Center. Yeah, so some are very easy. Easy, boring. Sometimes it's a little bit more tricky. And what about this one? Yeah, maybe you, because the second big news of New York Zen Center is that we have an opportunity for a new resident. So if you want to deepen your practice and meet all those lovely faces, if you are older than 50, younger than 50, or just 50, whatever, you're really welcome to join us. Thank you.
And where's Keith? Keith, are you here? From the New Haven Zen Center.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. It's wonderful to see you all here today. Kind of filled with gratitude today. My son's here, Zen Master Sung-san, for all this great energy that still keeps kind of rolling along. I'm grateful for Wonil's talk, because now I know where my teacher got his annoying habit of answering questions with questions. And speaking of rolling along, the New Haven Zen Center is also 50 years old. I suspect a lot of these places kind of came along at the same time. We're still in our original building, so there's been practice going on there since really the early 70s. It became a Quantum place a little later on. But it's... Wonil also mentioned Maha Gosananda, who was there, and we have our Jijang Bolso is actually a Cambodian version of that he gave us, so it's still sitting there. New Haven's kind of cool because everything has a little story. So yeah, we're rolling along. We have 5 residents in our building. We've got some room for a couple more if people are interested. Holding regular practice. I think everybody's kind of experienced an uptick in practice, and we certainly have at our Zen Center. We're having regular Zen Master is going to be with us tomorrow on Sunday, and then we're having basically bi-monthly one-day retreats is what we can handle at the present moment. But yeah, it's please come visit next time you have a retreat, or if you just want to come down for Sunday practice or something. Thank you.
Now, Ann Miller will tell us about the Cape Cod Zen Center. Where? Oh, there we
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here today, and as has been said, feel all the energy in this room. It's really wonderful. So Cape Cod Zen Center is on Cape Cod, and we are about 20 years old, I would say. And we have a sister, or I shouldn't call it a sister. We have an associate group, the Plymouth Zen group, that's kind of under the umbrella of Cape Cod Zen Center. And so we do a lot of collaborative things together, particularly share retreats a lot. Between the two groups, we are shooting for 6 retreats a year, so it's two on Cape Cod and 2 in Plymouth. And it's really worked out well. We also do dharma talks for each other and so on. So it's a great relationship. The Plymouth Zen group has just celebrated its 15th anniversary, and the retirement also of their abbot. New abbot has taken over and is doing a wonderful job. So on Cape Cod, we are we're definitely on the small end of the spectrum. We have 2 practices a week, one in the morning on Monday and one in the evening on Thursday. The Thursday night practice is more formal. We get the robes and the altar, and the Monday morning is informal. They're both in churches, and we're grateful to have the space in the church. It does have some downsides. We tend to get booted out a lot by church for church events. Have to go to, maybe they have a little room, or on some weeks we're just like kicked out. So, but and to also set up the room for the formal practice, getting things out of the closets and set up the altar and bring out the maps. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work for Michael, who's our head Dharma teacher on Thursday nights. So the big thing that we're doing that's new is we're looking at moving to a new space. We haven't actually had the board meeting that this, to approve this, but our head Dharma teacher, who is also in training to become a Dharma teacher for real, has some space in a finished basement in his house that is, has potential to be a good size for a small Zen center where we can have everything set up already and sort of feel like we have a home base. So that's kind of what's going on right now. We're planning. We're going to have our board meeting soon to make the final decision. Discuss the costs that are involved. It's a finished basement, but the floor is like red and white tiles, which is kind of jarring, I think, if you're looking at it for a while. So we're pricing new flooring and painting just to see what it's going to cost us to get this place, ready for practice. And of course, there's a matter of safety and lighting and all that. So it's going to be probably a slow process. Well, we wait and see if it works. People are going to come to this new place. That's the big question. So anyway, wish us luck. Thanks.
From the Cambridge Zen Center, we'll hear from John Kolwaite. Where are you, John? Oh.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John from Cambridge Zen Center. Driving down here, I was thinking a lot of the, I think it's from the Avantasaka Sutra, everything is created by mind alone. And it's interesting to see the landscapes of the mind just driving from Cambridge to this landscape down here. You wake up thinking, the plumbing's broken here, the stove is broken here, this roof is... And then you're in a car with people who are talking about science fiction. And then you come here and you have a little list of all the things you're supposed to say about the Cambridge Zen Center, and then you run into all these people you haven't seen in a long time. And hey, hey, and it's just a wonderful song of that warm, beautiful feeling. And then they come in here and listen to Wonil Sunim and realize we're part of a 2,600-year-old tradition, and how deep that is and what that means. And you have all these landscapes of the mind, which kind of reminds me of when I put on my long robe in the morning. Sometimes my head goes through the armhole, or I put it on. So I'm going to juggle a few of those landscapes while I talk about Cambridge Zen Center. So if I put my mouth through the armhole, that's just the caveat for that. But no, we're very, very busy up at Cambridge Zen Center. We're lucky to have Colin Pope-Sunim staying with us as resident teacher, and we have great guidance with Jane and Diane, and Bon Shim is visiting us this summer, so great gratitude for that. Our programs are very, very strong. We have a young Zen group is very, very big. I think it's over 20, meeting on Sundays. And similar to a speaker that was just up here, Manu, we have the over 50 group too. We've called it Elder Zen. So that started to meet for that crowd as well. There's no clear cutoff. It's just what issues that face those different groups. We keep our social diversity programs going strong. We've recently started a fundraising committee to look into continuous renovations around the building. We all know about that. And as well as an outreach and engagement committee to really see the greater Sangha in the area and how we can engage and involve more of that energy. So it's been incredibly busy. One of the really beautiful things that energizes me is the practice. Our Dharma room, some nights on Tuesday nights or Sunday mornings, I see a lot of the faces right now, are what we call knee to knee on the cushions. So very, very busy, very, very strong energy. And I believe that today in the precept ceremony, we're going to have 12 representatives of Cambridge Zen Center either taking precepts, Dharma teacher in training, Dharma teacher, and very special Kimball taking Bodhisattva teacher vows today. So it's very, very fortunate to be part of this incredible energy. I would say come up and visit, but we got no room. No, please, we'll make room for you. But just the gratitude that I feel on a day like today is so profound. And just thank you, everybody, for all your hard practice. My head's coming out the armhole right now. Thank you.
I've been watching everybody, what order they do that in, and no one's done it the same way twice. Massachusetts Prison Program, Mark O'Leary. Well, he owes me money.
He just did it right.
That's it.
Did I do it right?
Yes.
I just guessed.
You bow to the monks before you bow to the ladies.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But what do I know? It's okay. That's just someone's idea, right, Sunim? And your idea is good enough. A couple people mentioned Mahagosananda, who I never had the privilege to meet. Never met Zen Master Sung-san either. But I have a Mahagosananda story. It relates to the prison program. So when I was trying to find a Cambodian monk who could speak English, who would come to visit at MCI Concord, which is now mercifully closed, by the way, I'm happy to report. I found a Cambodian Sangha in Lowell and called and couldn't get anyone on the phone. I said, well, I'm just going to go and visit because I know they have monks there. So I went to the grocery store and I got a little crate of clementines, you know, the oranges, and I got in my truck and I drove up and found the place. It was way in the back of this sort of industrial area, and it had a wraparound porch, kind of like this. And sitting outside on the porch was a very young monk in his robes, smoking a cigarette. Most of the Cambodian monks I have met smoke. Anyway, he was sitting there, and I went up and I introduced myself to him. He did speak some English, and I gave him the oranges. He proceeded to give me the longest blessing I have ever had in my life, in between puffs. And actually had this same folder with me, and it had all these pages from it was called something like the Cambodian Institute for Peace, which I don't know if it was founded by Mahagosananda or simply supported by him, but it had a lot of stuff in English and in Khmer, or Khmer as it's sometimes pronounced, about this institute, which is based in Cambodia. And it had a big picture of Mahagosananda. And he looked at it, and he was fascinated by it, and reading. And he goes, "You need to talk to my master." And I thought, oh, he's going to put me off until next week or something. I said, okay, when can I do that? He goes, right now, you drive. And we get into my truck, and we go to this house where all these monks live. And down on the first floor, it had all been cleared out, and they were serving lunch. It was lunchtime. Now, if you know anything about Theravadan monastic practice, lunch is the big deal. That's your one meal of the day, and you don't interrupt a monk at lunch. So we didn't interrupt. So there were 4 or 5 monks against the wall, and there's the Buddha altar. And right next to the altar is the abbot, the big boss. And he's sitting there, and he's got this tray in front of him. Each monk is eating his, and over in the corner are some lay people who prepared the lunch. And when the monks were all done, they would clear everything, and they would finish it. And it was like a great blessing for them. My little monk friend, we go in there, and we wait, and we go and we bow to the master after he's had his lunch. And they say something to each other. I don't know what they said. And finally, I really felt terrible because this guy couldn't understand me, what I was asking, that I wanted a monk who spoke English, and can't be you, sorry. And then the little monk said to me, my master would like to see the paper, meaning he wanted to see the pages that I had in here. And so I handed him the whole thing. He looked through it. And in perfect English, he said, exactly when would you want him to come in? And so I thought, you speak English just fine. And suddenly it was like the door was open, where I couldn't even get them on the phone before. And I realized sitting right behind the abbot was a greater than life-size photograph of the Mahagosananda picture that I had in here. So I came to the right place for sure. And he hooked me up with a monk who was very, very helpful and very comforting to the guys at the now defunct MCI Concord. Right now we have groups in Old Colony Correctional in Bridgewater, Mass., which is a medium security facility connected to the state psychiatric hospital. And we have a group at Shirley Medium, which is, that's probably our oldest continuously functioning group. Some of you have been there, and I'm happy to announce, although there isn't a lot of new stuff to report, one thing, we have a retreat coming up on May 3rd, which Zen Master Bon Shim is going to lead for us. And we've opened it up to members of our community as well. If you are a serious Zen practitioner, we have made it so that people could come and sit with the inmates for a one-day retreat at Old Colony Correctional in Bridgewater. And we've got about a half a dozen people interested. There's one rule: we can't have more volunteers than inmates participating, so we're going to have to cap it. But I'm really looking forward to that day, and that's, like I said, it's coming up Saturday, May 3rd. And Ola will be there, and we're all very, very excited. So that's what's going on right now. Nothing really new to report other than the last time I was here. But thank everybody for your continued support and attention to these people who are often forgotten. And we don't want to forget them. And finally, we'll hear from Danielle Alpher from the Providence Zen Center.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence here at PZC is very much appreciated. So I wanted to start my share today with just thanking everybody who did attend Kilche this year. We had approximately 60 people participate in the 13 weeks of Winter Kilche. So I wanted to also share that registration for summer, this coming summer, as well as winter of 26 will be up and available for you all to register for within the next week or so. So challenge delivered. See you all at Kilche. And thank you so much for your hard practice. I also wanted to share with the group, and thanks very much to our friends and supporters and Sangha members at Cambridge. Cambridge has generously pledged $100,000 of seed money for a capital campaign for major improvements here at PZC. So over the next months, you will all see a campaign for fundraising for this, so we can, make some improvements here at the Zen Center, maybe add a few more bathrooms and a couple of other things that are on our wish list. So you're going to see some fun things as well, not just regular old requests for donations, but there's thoughts of maybe a tofu trot for any of you runners out there, or maybe like someone helped me today with a sit-a-thon. We can do like an ongoing, sitting marathon, and just fun ways to raise some money to help, continue the good work we're doing here at PZC. We are expanding our community offerings. We did start an art club here. That was pretty well attended, or we had our first group meeting. We actually had 3 people who had never been here before come to PZC because of the art club. And we are following that up with an art as meditation retreat in collaboration with Paul Bloom and the New Haven Zen Center. So thank you for your support. So we're really excited about that. This year in the garden, we are going to be offering some lots out in the back within the kitchen garden that's out back, you all see. So if anybody is interested in that, please reach out. Let us know if you want to grow some food for yourself. And then in addition to that, we're starting a garden club to help with some beautification projects around the campus. So if growing food isn't your thing and you like to grow flowers and things like that, let us know and come on down and join PZC. And then we'll follow that also with like a gardening as meditation retreat. Additionally, Cambridge, our friends and fellow Cambridge supporters have asked for opportunities to come and help us on a monthly basis. So we are going to be scheduling Sangha work days over the next month, starting in May. So stay tuned. Anybody who doesn't already receive our newsletter, let us know. So that's the best way to keep informed of things like that. And then 2 more things. Gift shop is open today, as you all probably saw that on the schedule. Zen Master Songhyang, thank you so much for the book signing. We're excited about that. And wrapping it up, we are also excited about our next Sangha weekend, which is in August for Founders Day. Just kind of giving you guys a little teaser on that. We're going to hopefully have some more entertainment the way we did last year. So it's great to see you now, and it's going to be really good to see you again in August. And then finally, personally, I appreciate all the director and abbot support. We are meeting monthly as directors and abbots. It's been a great call. It's been really wonderful to connect with all of you, and I really very much appreciate the support that you give to me and my role and function as the director here at Providence Zen Center. So thank you all.
Our Dharma speech will be given now by Zen Master Jok Um.
Buddha was born. Everybody was born. How does that help you? Buddha took 7 steps in each of the 4 directions. He got back to where he started. All of us are trying to get back to where he started and where we started. How does that help you? Buddha pointed to the ground. Buddha pointed to the sky and said, "In the heaven above and the earth below, only I am holy." All babies think only I am holy. Many adults, in fact, think only I am holy. How holy are you anyway? There's probably something to say after that. Let's find out. Jad, thank you. Not everybody could see, but there was great joy in each ladle full of water coming into the ladle. How much did it weigh? Look at how it goes down the baby Buddha's body. Oh, I get to do it again? Goes in the scoop, comes up, goes down the baby Buddha's body, and I get to do it again. Wow. If you want to know how to engage the moment, I'm not so useful. This world is becoming very, very, very strange. That's not news. Everybody has their own sense about that. And in fact, Zen Master Sung-san said that the world will become more and more and more disorganized. A little bit like he said, when an apple is really red, it's ripe, and if you don't eat it, the fruit inside starts to rot, and then the energy goes into the seeds, and then something new emerges. So this is a kind of the fruit is rotting and the energy goes into the seed time. And often when he would be presented with something where somebody wasn't seeing the point of things, despite clear guidance, he would say, I'll take it out of broken English, they need to suffer more. How's that working for you? Because there's plenty around to be seen. So what can we do because we want to have some certainty in a world that feels like it's becoming more and more and more uncertain? So what can we touch? So one thing we can touch is when we sit down on the cushion, we're touching the cushion. That doesn't seem so reassuring, but if you're not sure you're touching the cushion, then you really need reassurance. Yeah, so please be aware that when you're touching the cushion, you're touching the cushion. Second is we're concerned about things moving very fast. So how do we slow down and stop? So consider, not mechanically, but experientially, we breathe in, it stops. We breathe out, it stops. The in-breath shapes the out-breath. The out-breath shapes the in-breath, so they're each unique. If you're concerned about not having time to stop, if on the average people breathe 12 times a minute, we're actually stopping 24 times a minute. So how can you say you have no time? So that's the first thing, is being in touch with something and having time to stop. Each of us can do that. Second is what can we rely on in these uncertain times? I have a very close colleague. I'm his unofficial triplet. He's twins. He's a colleague of mine from North Carolina, and he teaches social work at North Carolina State, and called me up because his students want to know what kind of world are they graduating into. So he thought I could say something about that. That's his first mistake. I didn't think that I saw anything more profound about what kind of world they're graduating into than they did. And so I heard the question on as what can we rely on? And in times of uncertainty, or even in times of prosperity, and certainly in times of calamity, what we most can rely on, if we allow that to happen, are those around us, who we've allowed ourselves to become intimate with. So take a moment and look. I really mean it, take a moment and look. Why is everybody smiling? Just please consider. Something's clear. My suggestion to him is don't bring in an outside speaker. Have a discussion about we're about to graduate in uncertain times. We've been together for 2 years. We've connected. What can we bring forward together as we move into things of uncertainty? And let them be guided by their own wisdom. His second mistake was, oh, I'm really glad I called you. Good. He knew that. So all the more important, yes, to have something like this, not because it's the only way to do it, but because there's only one thing to do, and this is one way. And forgetting that there's only one thing to do and that there's a way generates distress and fear and anxiety and the wish to cling on to something for certainty that transforms and therefore can't be held onto, and that generates more distress and anxiety and uncertainty. There's a book called Transmission of the Lamp. Now it's available in English. Somebody did a lot of translating because it's large enough to fill many library shelves if you got the whole collection. And it was written by a 12th or 13th century monk who saw the whole thing in a dream and then spent a lot of time writing it down. And what he saw in a dream was the series of transmissions of the true Dharma from several kalpas ago to Shakyamuni and then down to the present time where he was. So through India, China, Japan. Since it started several kalpas ago and he saw it in a dream, we know this is true and reliable. But what feels true and reliable about it is this. The first large handful of student-teacher interactions end with a beautiful capping poem, which I can't remember the series of poems, but the point of each of the poems is this. Our fundamental nature has no distinct quality. Right? There's something formless. We say primary point, don't know. There are many ways of pointing to that. Buddha did that kind of thing, right? Mahakashyapa saw a flower and smiled. Many, many things like that. But when you try to contain it, you harm it. That being so, each mind moment only has its particular distinct quality. So in that is nature and suffering and wisdom. And the teaching we support is that we each can see that, and we each can live that, and that the quality of our practice and the quality of our character come together when we support each other sincerely to see that and live that way. Hopefully you're shaking your head and saying, I already knew that, because I don't think I can tell you something you don't already know, except maybe some stories. Jad is giving us the capping poem, so I'll be quiet for a moment. Listen carefully, listen carefully. Who wants a third?
Next we will have the Buddha's birthday poem, read for us by Tim Colohan JDPSN on Zoom.
Dear Buddha, you were born, and so we are free. Happy birthday. You were born, and so your mother died. Fragile, fragile, fragile. Is it a girl or a boy? Who cares? The baby is alive. Wah, 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 wah. Fragile baby. Fragile mother. Who will wash the baby? His mother? The rain? No, I will. I will. Who is this I that wants to wash the baby? Who will feed the baby? The elephant? No, I'm too big. The father? No, I'm too busy. Wah, 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 it's hungry. Who will take care of the baby? The lion? No, I'm too dangerous. The kangaroo has a pouch and some milk. Kangaroo, no, we are too far away in Australia. But it's baby Buddha. Fragile, fragile, fragile. No, indestructible. Wah, wah, wah. He pooped himself. His mother is dead. Auntie, 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 can you help? My sister is dead? The baby lived. Of course, I can be his wet nurse. Milk, milk, milk. Poop, poop, poop. Clean, clean, clean. Wonderful, How can we help?
So at this time, we're going to have the ceremony to celebrate giving. Zen Master Tan Gong will give the speech. After that, you will have the opportunity to donate.
So as a statistician, I must say that I'm very happy to know that the average age of the Chogye Sangha is 50. Thank you, Manu, for that. So good morning, everybody, and welcome. It's so great to see the family home full of people. Every room is taken, and that is wonderful. When I started practicing about 30 years ago, these Sangha weekends were wonderful and perplexing at the same time. There still are. Yeah? They were wonderful because you come and you meet all these people from all over the US, sometimes from all over the world. And then you realize that what Zen Master Sun started, this dharma or energy, and what the people above 50 in the room continue and gave us that gift. It's wonderful. This is that exercise that Zen Master Jok Um just did with us. Yeah? We just turn around and we just smile. Just like that. Yeah? And it's a wonderful feeling, that wonderful energy that we get when we come to a retreat. Yeah? I was standing there and Jody from the Cambridge Zen Center came in and we say hello and I gave her a hug. And I say, this weekend I'm trying to not do much. It's been a long week at work. And here like a human vampire, sucking the energy from people. The smiles, the hugs, and all that. And they were perplexing because at the beginning, you come and you hear a talk or a dharma combat. And there's a lot of joy, but there's a lot of stuff that, what are these people talking about? What is the inside joke? And a side note, I'm still trying to figure out what the Zen inside joke is, but that's probably subject for another talk. Yeah. But even now, you just heard the poem. That's perplexing. Yeah. Talking about lions and elephants and this and that and milk, milk, milk. Poop, poop, poop. Clean, clean, clean. These days we'll say diaper, diaper, diaper. Yeah. It's still joyful, still makes you laugh. It's like, wow. Yeah. It's simple. It's simple. We moved to Delaware. And, we started a little Zen group there. And one of the things that we really liked to do was to rent a van and bring people here. And I know a lot of you had that experience too. Yeah. You heard the Cape Cod Zen Center, how they practice their church. And they have the cushions somewhere and they take them out and do all that. Yeah. Been there, done that. Yeah. But when you're practicing with a small group somewhere, you don't have that experience until you come. And the same, you come, it's like, wow, this Sangha is big, this teaching is big. We belong to something that is really big. You have no idea. Yeah. And again, that's wonderful, that connection with the Sangha. And then we came back about, believe it or not, 14 years ago. And, you just came back and just enter into the Dharma room. It's like, that sense that, you're home. Yeah. You are home. But one of the things common to all of these is this building, this land. We celebrated 45 years in August. Yeah. This is a central point where we always come. You heard about Kilche. Yeah. So this year, and thank you, Diane JDPSN, she suggested that the dana from this ceremony is going to go straight to Providence. And you already heard all the wonderful things that people are doing to support us, especially the Cambridge Zen Center. Yeah. So this is the time to give. And of course, yeah, first thing you can do is give money, if you can, yeah, that we can use. We have many projects. We also have a fund for the roof. There's about maybe $20,000 that came from the big fundraising that we did. You know, the beautiful building with the blue tiles. I'm partial to blue, so it's there. So we're going to grow that fund so we can do some repairs. Yeah. But the next thing you can do is volunteer. We have a wonderful volunteer program that Danielle put together. So if you have any skills, time, and want to help, you can come. That's also dana. And you just heard, you know, emulate that the Cambridge Zen Center wants to come here once a month to help. So you can do that too. Yeah. Another aspect of dana is chanting. You can do some chanting for us at the Zen Center. I tell people, you know, especially when we're Christian Buddhist retreats, that's the closest we get to intercessory prayer, praying for something. You know, we pray for people or stuff. So, yeah, you can do some chanting. When you do chanting, you know, think of us. Think of the Providence Zen Center. Yeah. But the best dana that you can give us is your practice. Okay? The reason we're here, the reason this room feels the way it does is because all the dharma energy, if you want to call it that. Yeah. The kilches, the retreats that we have. We have retreats every month. We have Christian Buddhist retreat. A tradition has been going on for more than 30 years. Yeah? We just started a tradition last year. There is a Japanese group, the Full Moon Zen, that come 3 times a year. They rent a monastery, and they come from Fatherhood. That's a connection with the Christian Buddhist retreat. And last year we did a joint retreat. We call it 2 traditions, 1 family. Yeah. It's 2 traditions, of course. It's the Japanese and the Korean. But it's 1 family because they come from Maizumi Roshi. And Maizumi Roshi, some of you know, was a very good friend of Zen Master Sung-san. So there's that nice connection. So we had it. This year we had it, the second one. And we had 33 people in person, 33. So it's becoming a popular thing. So it's nice to see that. So yes, this is the dana moment. We're going to start chanting Kwanzaa Boso. So you're already giving that dana by chanting, you know, focus some of that on the Providence Zen Center. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy, relax, be human vampires from each other, and keep smiling.
All right, so you know how this works. On your cushion there, you found a form and an envelope and a pen. If you want to make a donation by check or cash, you just write your name on the form and put either check or cash in the envelope. If you want to make a donation using your credit card or a pledge to be paid later, just fill out the form and put that in the envelope. There's also a QR code you can scan if you want to donate securely by card. And then during the chanting, after you've had a few minutes to do this, then we come up and put your donation in the box here, all right? And please stand. supposed to tell you, we're going to chant Kwan Sin Bosa. The four great vows. Beings are numberless.
We vow to save them all. Delusions are endless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it.
Please be seated. Announcements. I'll be as quick as I can. Please see the bulletin board by the shoe rack for any volunteer assignments. Here are the events for the weekend. Lunch is at 12. which is, it's 11:18 now, so do your own math. Join us in the dining room immediately after lunch for a birthday cake for the Buddha. All right. That's the whole reason I came here. The gift shop will be open during lunch. The teachers' trustees meeting is at 12:30 in the conference room. Following lunch, those becoming full Dharma teachers are asked to be in the upstairs Dharma room at 1:45 to receive their long robes. Brian will be up there to teach you how to wear and bow in your new robes. Yeah, how to bow your new robe. Put a ribbon on it. At 2 p.m. in the upstairs Dharma room is the Dharma teacher in training welcoming meeting. Those about to take 10 precepts, plus all current Dharma teachers and Dharma teachers in training are invited to attend. That's at 2. For those taking 5 precepts, there is a mandatory meeting in the Peace Pagoda at 2 p.m. Please bring a mat and a cushion from the main Dharma room to use in the Peace Pagoda. There are a couple of chairs for those who need them. Anyone who wants to learn more about the 5 precepts is welcome to attend also. It's likely to be crowded in there this time. The precept ceremony will begin here at 3 p.m., right here in the main Dharma room. Our school Zen Master Songhyang, Bobby Rhodes, has released a new book, Composting Our Karma, Turning Confusion into Lessons for Awakening Our Innate Wisdom. She will have book signings in the guest lounge this afternoon following the precept ceremony at 4:30, this evening at 7, and tomorrow morning following practice at 11:30. Copies are available for purchase in the Providence Zen Center Pagoda gift shop. Dinner is at 5 p.m. Practice will follow dinner at 6:30. Come add your voice to our chanting at evening practice, where we'll be making an audio recording of the Heart Sutra for use on our website. Help us make a special audio moment for all to hear. You could be internet famous. After practice at 7, get your copy of Composting Our Karma signed in the guest lounge, or you can come back here in the main Dharma room at 7 p.m. for a conscious dance. I have no idea what that is. I'm unconscious of it. Conscious dance, oh, here it says. I should have read this. Conscious dance is a practice. I don't mean to make fun of this. Come on. Conscious dance is a practice that emphasizes the mind-body connection, self-expression, and mindfulness. No skills or training are necessary, simply a desire to move and be present. Listen to your body and let go of your ego. Tomorrow morning, 9:30, join us for Sunday morning practice here at PZC, the head temple of the Quantum School of Zen of Americas. Thank you for sharing this special weekend with us. That's the end of everything. Should I ask? You guys are going to leave or something, right? Please stand while our teachers leave the room.
Genius with the QR code, but if I'd known, I could have brought my phone in, so now I have to go out. And then just put that in, scan this.